Thanks for listening to our first ever podcast. This is episode 1, Zoom University of Uddering Engineers, a podcast created by the Engineering Students Society for engineers, created by engineers. So the reason we're here today is basically to talk to you guys about how to get into university, how to get involved, and what it feels like to get into online courses and online classes. We realize it's a little bit different. And so this episode's more catered towards the newer students, the first year students. And so just to backtrack a little bit, both of us are students of the Schulich School of Engineering. We're both members of the ESS. My name's Shivek Kanwar. I am a fourth year mechanical engineering student specializing in biomedical engineering. And my co-host here.
I'm Eric. I am also going into my fourth and final year of electrical engineering with a biomedical specialization. My role on ESS is I am the VP external. It means I get to talk to people all over the country. It's pretty fun.
And I'm a community relations commissioner this year and your podcast co-host. So my job is also to talk to people, but not around the world, just in our neighborhood, which is a little bit sad, but it's okay.
It's for the dollars.
All right.
So why did we even start this thing in the first place? Like,
Good question.
Whose idea was it actually?
This was my birth child. No, I think this was to basically solve a problem. And that problem was we saw student engagement going down. There was a pandemic and lots of people started listening to podcasts. And so we're like, okay, how do we make people listen to the advice that we have, the resources ESS can provide, market and advocate for things that we are passionate about, but still, share the resources and advice we've picked up that nobody told us and is still not available anywhere else. So hitting those hard-hitting topics and that like deep-rooted advice. That's what the point of this thing was.
Yeah, totally not jumping on a trend at all.
Not at all. I completely hate bandwagons and anybody who does them. So, and this is not ESS's values. This is just my values.
Okay, cool. So I guess like, what is ESS? I think should be like kind of that first intro to like, we're part of this club here. So ESS stands for Engineering Students Society. Basically, we're the student government for engineering students. We advocate for engineering students. We support engineering students socially, academically, and professionally. So that means, fun events, helping students with like job info sessions for professional stuff, and also running things like meet upper years for first years as like a kind of an academic social thing. Also doing things like job fairs. So we do all sorts of cool things to try to help y'all have a better experience in university, online university.
So yeah, that's actually our main focus today. What's going to be different? Why do we want to talk about the fact that courses are online now? Most of the first years coming in, you got to build those friendships, those partnerships, go join clubs now, got to attend classes online. It's a daunting experience. So I guess, Eric, what were your first couple of days like when we didn't have to do things online?
Yeah, well, so just kind of as a background, I'm for everybody listening, this is not my first degree, so this is not my first go through it. I actually have a previous degree from McGill, but but so I thought I had it all figured out, like from my previous thing where it's like I know what university is going to be like. I'm just going to go to my classes, keep my head down, get through it, and my first couple of days were literally go to class, sit in a lecture theater of like 200 people, look at the syllabus, and then I went home. I didn't go to any of like the stuff that was offered, which is just like in hindsight was a big old mistake. Shivek, yourself?
The complete opposite, I think. So for me, this is my first and only degree so far. So coming into school, I was like, I don't know what to expect. Nobody set any, expectations for me. Nobody told me what to do. I don't know what orientation is. I don't know what ESS is. what is school. So I came in with like a blank slate, and I tried to do as many things in the first couple of days and try to make as many friends as possible, and literally networking off the bat, because I was like, I need help and I don't know what's happening. So let's get the support that I can get. So I think we come from two different worlds there, I got in that way. But for the students who are coming online, you guys have a whole different experience. How do you make friends online? How do you guys, get started? What's that syllabus look like? And just to kind of get started with that,
Syllabus.
syllabus. But just to sort of get started with that, like the courses and the classes are gonna be sort of the same with you. You guys are still gonna go through the syllabus in the first couple of days, and figure out what your requirements are. And I'm gonna push that topic of like how do you make friends and get involved a little bit further into discussion. Let's hone in a little bit onto what classes are gonna look like beyond just attending them.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because not even though like these classes were big, like you kind of went into class previously, rolled out of bed, took the train to school, and it's like now you sit down and there's 200 people there. You still had the opportunity to turn to your right and your left and say, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Eric. Excited to be here or scared to be here." But now you're just kind of a face on a screen in Zoom, right? You're one of the many people who just rolled out of bed 5 minutes ago, hopped onto your computer and then clicked the link because your Eng 201 class is at 8 a.m. and you gotta see what's going on. Like it's gonna be so much harder, and you have to put so much more effort, I think, now into like finding these platforms and like these avenues to connect with other people, because you no longer it's not as easy anymore as just turning to your neighbor and making a new friend.
Yeah, I completely agree. For those of us who struggle to talk to people, the first day, I said I talked to a lot of people, which is true, but I could never talk to like my neighbor in a class. Just I wasn't very comfortable doing it. But to Eric's point, we can do that over Zoom still. So there's this option of private messaging people, just saying hi. You can actually remove your professor from the list of people you want to talk to. So you could still say hi to people and try to build some of these connections, or just say it even when your professor's there. I know a few of them don't mind, but the professors will set these sort of expectations. And that's one of the key things, making sure you hone in onto the expectations the professors set for each of their classes. They're going to be different. They're going to, evolve now that everything's online. So they might say you can only ask questions at these times. You raise your hand when you do this, and just keep an eye out for those expectations, because each professor will want to set those a little bit differently. And obviously you want to respect what they're saying. You want to be on the good side at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And like, it's not all going to be the same kind of format from my understanding. I think it's also, some professors might make recordings and then just put the recordings on there so you can kind of tune in whenever you want to see it. Others might insist on saying, hey, no, you have to be here at this time for my lecture, which is going to be, I guess, more similar to what a regular class would be.
Yep.
But it's, again, like Shivek said, it's up to the professors. And in terms of expectations too, another thing I really want to touch on that's, I think, really important is that the professors will tell you exactly their expectation with textbooks too. Yep. So a lot of these courses, you get all these, required textbooks that are listed to you as you sign up, but wait for that first day of class, because your prof will let you know, hey, this textbook is absolutely mandatory because you'll have to do your assignments from here, or like you need to sign up for this online tool that comes with the textbook and you have to get it, whereas others might suggest that it's more for practice problems and you don't necessarily need it. So you don't have to spend that extra $150 on top of everything you're already paying for a book that you might not use.
Yep. And that's when some of these relationships become a little important. So I did mention that we're going to talk about other platforms and other things that are meant for students to interact over online. And I will touch on them a little bit later, but this is a time where you start developing some of those connections with some of the upper years, because they might have these textbooks, they might have some of these resources to help you out, to help you start grind through the first couple of weeks at least. And yeah, completely agree. There's nothing to stress out about in this first couple of days. that's just to enjoy it. No matter what anybody says, go in and just enjoy those first couple of days. Make as many friends as possible, because that's the time to like have fun, and that's what the stuff you remember. I think Eric and I still remember the stories from our first couple of days, despite the Shillibish debacle.
This is a terrible inside joke. But yeah, so no, like we talked about making friends, like turning to your right and your left, but like it's not just, you have to do it yourself kind of deal. In terms of, networking, it's not just you have to message people. There are a lot of things that have been organized already for you coming in to, make these connections. One of the big things is orientation week. So this is run by University of Calgary itself. So I guess in a COVID-free world situation, it's still 2 days. One day is usually focused on, a general university orientation where you kind of get put into your orientation group. You get assigned an orientation leader, and they tour you around campus and teach you all about, what university life is going to be like and what campus life is going to be like. And the second day is usually more focused on your what you got into. So like in our case, it's engineering. It's here's the engineering building. This is what engineering is going to be like. Oh, hey, look, it's Dean Rosart. He's going to have a little speech for you. So in an online setting, it's less wandering around, but it's still likely you're going to be going to these sessions where you get to learn a lot more and, have fun activities planned. From what I hear, there's going to be like an online scavenger hunt, an online escape room. So they have a lot of cool things planned, and it might be worthwhile checking it out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'm definitely excited for you guys. I wish they gave us an escape room. No, it's okay though. But just to be clear, the orientation is free of cost for anybody who is a student coming into school. And another thing is, if you guys have requests about things, guys and gals, to be clear, have any requests about, do you want a campus tour? Do you want a video about what Schulich's building looks like? Things like that. You want resources to look at, like, what the building looks like. How do I get around? What's the quickest way to get from here to there? If that's a thing, then let us know. We can try to develop some of these resources, but we won't know them until you ask for them.
No, absolutely. But like, it's not just the university organizing things. Like,
oh
no.
No.
ESS is also doing a lot of stuff, and arguably going to be a lot better and more fun than what the university is doing.
Yeah, don't tell them we said that, but it's true.
They're going to see this.
Just cut that part out whenever you're talking to anybody from UFC. Yeah, we'll cut this part out entirely. But all that being said, yeah, ESS is doing a bunch of things for Frosh. The Froshies coming in. So the events that we have set up for ESS are run from September 3rd to 7th. So 2 days are overlap with orientation week, so O week, so the 3rd and the 4th. But there's a variety of events. Some are free, some are paid. I think it's either $0, $5, or $10 to attend these events. And Eric, what are some of these events? Do you know them?
Oh, thank you for asking, Shivak. Some of them are a scavenger hunt. Ooh. We'll have to see if it's actually better than the orientation week one, and if ours isn't, we should copy them next time. There's a cool event called Ask an Upper Year. So I think signups for upper years is already done, but for first years, go ahead and sign up. There's been lots of upper years that have signed up for this initiative,
so many.
Where like it's literally you get paired up with an upper year, ask the questions, ask any question you want, like about the experience, and they'll let you know, like, if you have any worries, any fears. Like, this is a great point to ask an upper year about it, because just as unsolicited upper year advice, it seems very scary coming in, but it's not as terrifying maybe as you might be making it out to be, and hearing these perspectives definitely help you a lot. Yeah. And now passing it over to my co-host Shavek. What else is going on in the Frosh Week?
I do want to make a point with what Eric said earlier. Unsolicited advice. That's the entire point of this podcast. So I apologize in advance for this. But yeah, we also have the Clubs Fair. We have a video games tournament, which is, I think, the first time we're doing something like that, which is going to be so much fun. If that's not your thing, still just attend. It's a good way to make some of these connections and get to know what people are interested in. No event, which is hosted by GNCTR. Eric, what does GNCTR stand for?
Okay, I'm not going to screw it up this time. It stands for Concrete, Noncrete, Cement, Toncrete, Roncrete. They're a cool club.
This is definitely a running joke. So if you don't know what it actually stands for and you want to know, shoot us a message. If you're part of GNCTR and you want us to be clear with everyone else, please also let us know. We'll make sure that everyone knows what it stands for.
We'll make a special mention of it next time.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's no event, and then finally there's a movie night. And I think this is a good way to segue into this other point of ours. And by the way, we're new to this, so when I say segue, this is literally how I'm going to do it because it's the first couple episodes for us. But the segue here is the clubs fair. So remember I was mentioning like how you can get involved, what are different ways to make these connections, how do you actually, get onto some of these roles that, you and I are part of or other people have maybe mentioned to you in the past. So have you been to a clubs fair in the past, Eric?
Yes. I've been to I guess both the ESS one and also the SU organized one. So there's I guess the one we directly organize is our ESS clubs fair, and that's going to be an online one as everything is, and it's going to be on September 5th from noon till 2 p.m. It's free. So like and literally every single engineering related Shule club is going to be there. So, if you want to sign up for a team like GNCTR, this is where you do it. But, there's tons of clubs that are engineering related, and not all of them have to do with, like, designing stuff.
Yeah, some definitely do. There are teams that focus on some of those designing aspects. But then there's, department societies, Mechanical Engineering Student Society, Biomedical Engineering Student Society, Engineering Student Society. That's us.
Wait. Do like the department societies, because you choose in your second year, do they still let first years join?
Yeah, so good question. There are some department societies that do, based on their constitution, do allow for volunteering and recruitment from first years. And this is a good way to just network with them, right? Like, I want to go into mechanical, for example, and I'm a first year student. Let's talk to a mechanical person. What do you actually do? What courses do you take? What resources should I be prepared for? Can I get involved in this society? Does that give me an upper hand? Like, these kinds of questions you can ask them and get involved. And just speaking from experience and being part of different societies in the past, if we have an event and we need volunteers, it doesn't matter where you're from in engineering, we just need a volunteer. So first year, doesn't matter. If you want to help out, it's a good way to get started.
Yeah, generally too, like a lot of people in department societies are overly talkative like us. So even if you're just there helping out and don't say anything, chances are somebody's going to come up to you and talk your ear off and get to know you. So it's pretty easy networking. You just got to sign up and then kind of just stand there. And generally, like, the president of the society will be like, hey, who's this? Hi, I'm president of society.
We defy that stereotype of engineers can't socialize completely.
It might still be a little awkward, but no, well, somebody will reach out.
I completely agree. But yeah, don't hesitate, don't worry. And if you do hesitate, then just ease it out. Try to have the conversation, and it'll work out. Just take that first step. Try taking that first step. And if you're concerned or worried about it and you want us to connect you with somebody and you have specific questions, feel free to contact us. I'll drop our contact info at the end of this episode. We can try to connect you. We'll be more than happy. We want to support as many people as we can.
Or if you just want to talk to us, that's cool too.
Yeah. After the first episode, if you want to talk to us, we'll be so happy. Please do it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just with these clubs, I guess we got stuck a little bit on department societies, but there's also just a bunch of other like arts related clubs too, like, and creativity related clubs. So like, for example, there's Schulich Soundstage that does jam sessions all the time, and they're so fun.
Open mics.
I think another one of our VPs started a poetry club. That's pretty sweet. So there's so many different ways to kind of express yourself in like engineering with other engineers, and it's not even that like there are these available, but we're not saying you have to join an engineering faculty club, right? Like, join any club, anywhere across campus, like if your passion is like consulting or like business stuff, join a consulting club in like the at Haskayne. Like,
Yep.
might as well. This is your chance to. I think through these clubs, it's your biggest chance to learn a lot about yourself and your interests, and like that is one of the greatest takeaways beyond just having a shiny resume from doing a lot of things.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think part of that advice is like when you're starting off in these first couple weeks, I would say sign up for as many of these clubs, like get on the email lists for like as many as these things that you think you might be interested in, and show up to their info nights or events. Because sure, you might change your interests and things evolve and you might want to leave or drop the club. That's okay. Like, we all understand, we've been through that cycle. But you won't realize what your interests are, or you won't be able to practice them until you start early. I personally know a lot of people who, started joining these clubs in like third and fourth year, either to buff up their resume or just because that's when the interest started kicking in. But they struggled because they didn't know how to get involved at that like sort of deep rooted level, or didn't have these resources or connections compared to the people who started earlier. So try, and if it's not of interest, makes sense, leave it. No worries, nobody's judging.
No, that's the beauty of it. Like, you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Easy as that. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you you find out about it, I think that's good enough as a start.
Yep. And for me personally, I remember I tried to approach several clubs, but one I didn't, just because I was very shy at the time, was Schulich Soundstage. I like to sing on the side as a hobby, and I didn't join. I barely went to their open mics. Like, I was so concerned and worried. But when I eventually, like after 3 or 4 years, when I did start meeting some of these people, they're so like super nice, super supportive. Just come to their event, listen to other people, have a good time. And if you don't want to perform, don't want to sing, it's perfectly fine. If you want to just support the team, you know, on as a VP finance or some other portfolio, also perfectly okay. That's just the skills you want to develop. So that's something I definitely regret doing, and that's why I'm trying to push it a little bit more.
Even just being a spectator, like,
Yeah.
of these things, or like being a participant in stuff these clubs organize, like,
Yeah.
it helps them so much to like, and not even from a monetary perspective or anything like that, but just from knowing that people out there take interest and really like, the service or whatever they provide is, such a big uplifting moment. Like, the more
Definitely.
people you get at a gig, the better you feel. More people show up to, let's say, Ask an Upper Year from ESS. Like, I know Gato would be just over the moon if
Yeah.
like she got a whole bunch of people signing up. So like, it's not just like getting involved isn't just, joining the club itself and being like a big part of it. Getting involved is just going to events that clubs have.
Yeah. It's taking that first step. And honest, it's weird because I think naturally, I like to take that first step, but I'm taking this course in creativity now, and that course, one of the things is do the work, and do the work means take that first step, right? The first step to creativity is just practicing and grinding it, and figuring out what to do. And this creativity doesn't just help that club; it helps other things. You get into that the work ethic of trying to get things done and practicing and failing over and over again. That you begin to innovate, and a lot of us as engineers join or go into this career path because we like problem solving, we like critical thinking, we want to build new things, we want to put something out there. And to be able to find ways to problem solve innovatively, you got to be creative. So practicing that through arts clubs or whatever is a really good way to do it.
Yeah, the best engineers are often the most creative ones. You don't want to be stuck in the same old solutions all like for the rest of your life. You want to be that person that makes something new. You want to be that Elon Musk without the tweets.
Without the tweets. That's a good one. Holy. Yeah,
But yeah,
but
no, that's something we definitely want to discuss more, and I think it might actually be, the topic of our next episode will be, what creativity is, how you can practice it, how you can get better at it, and why it makes you a better engineer, better person, better everything,
yeah,
because you can think outside of the box.
yeah, definitely. And this is all very sort of dependent on our audience's interest. So please comment, please give us feedback, tell us what you think about this first episode, this first podcast, things that you maybe want us to talk about. And I would like to preface this and say that we are running a second series called Weird Gears under the Uddering Engineers podcast, which is for an interview series. So if you want us to interview somebody about a specific topic, or you want to be on an interview, let us know. We will be more than happy to bring you on. If we can fit it in the schedule, we'll do it for sure. And so I'd like to take this moment to say, if you guys want to get involved, if you have any questions, you can contact us on various different platforms. So you can find us on Instagram at ufc.ess. If you search up Engineering Students Society, University of Calgary, you'll find us on Facebook as well. We should also be under ufc.ess for that, under the URL. And if you want to get on the Discord for any of the years or just for ESS, let us know. We can send you a link or we can send you an invite. But typically, if you search up Engineering Students Society 2020 to 2021, you should be able to find us in one way or another.
Nice. I personally am not a big fan of social media, so I don't have very many personal shout outs, but I know Shivek wants to shout out his own personal stuff. So
yeah.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Go for it.
If you search up Ash Shivek, so ASHSHIVEK1 on Insta, my account is public. Feel free to message. I'm also on Facebook. You should be able to see my name in the video on YouTube. But if you to our listeners, it's SHIVEK and last name is Kanwar, KANWAR. There aren't many of me out there in the world, so you should be able to find me. But you should, you can feel free to ask any questions, advice, support, whatever you need. My accounts are public. I'll be more than happy to help.
Just as an aside, dude, last time I searched my name, Eric Fung, in Calgary, all of them are either doctors or famous musicians. It kind of was very demoralizing. I was I have to live up to this at some point.
Dude, it's so nice to have a name that nobody has.
Yeah. So I guess another way to reach us is through our emails, and we'll drop those in because we're trying to switch over to a new domain name that we have full control over now. So stay tuned for that. But when this episode is out, they will be in the description, and feel absolutely free to email us through those.
Yep. And our website link, as well as the other social media, will also be in the description for anybody who wants to reach out. But what I would like to ask the audience is, please give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Give us some advice. We're new to this. We're learning what to do. The only way we figured out how to do this is learn how to do a podcast videos and other podcasts. So we need to learn. We need to grow. So let us know, and we can talk about things and adjust things as you guys tell us. Thank you for listening to our episode 1, Zoom University of Uddering Engineers. This is a podcast created by engineering students at the Schulich School of University for engineering students at the same school.
Yeah, see you next time. Thanks so much.